Welcome to the 178th broadcast of the T-Row Show. It's your host, Keith. It's been quite busy out there, haven't it, folks? I mean, I'm sure we're getting a lot of theories going on. We saw one where the, by the way, just as a narrative, this show is being done when these riots are going on, so-called riots in the country. Due to one guy getting killed on the streets by a police officer. And the picture that was taken of the guy that was arrested does not match the police officer. Okay, folks, if you look at this picture, I did see this picture on Fox Alert. I think they had a Fox Alert night. They were showing everybody burning stuff. But this ain't the same person. You're right, it is not the same person. That is a completely different guy. This is the guy that was on the other gentleman's neck, and this is the guy they said that was arrested. This is not him at all. These are completely two different people. So, I mean, their hairlines don't even match. This one's more of a straight hairline here, and this is a round hairline. This is a pointed hairline right there. This ear sticks out. That ear sticks out. The only thing that may match is maybe this right here to this right here, but that's just because we're not seeing it. But yeah, the hairlines don't match. That's not the same person. I don't know what kind of crap people are trying to pull, but you know, it is what you're seeing. So there's going to be a lot of that's going to kick off a lot of conspiracy theories. Believe me, they're already flying everywhere. But the thing is I personally don't really worry about the conspiracy theories because they're not going to get you anywhere. You're going to be not on focus. You're not focusing on anything. Okay, you got to focus on the right people and what's really happening. So in order to see through this chaos, you have to watch, because every time there's chaos, what's really going on? Somebody's trying to get out of a crime. The only way to get out of a crime is to get into power. If they can get into power, they control who gets charged with things, and they just got away with all their crimes. That's basic 101 kindergarten stuff. So when you see this kind of stuff going, there's a lot of people that are a part of the 527 organization, Democrats, and it's a private company, and they've committed a lot of crimes. A lot of them have gone against or have sided with China. And against their own country. So yeah, they got a lot to lose. So, you know, burning a few cars and causing some kind of chaos and stuff is not really that big of a deal to them to get out of, 50 to 100 years in prison, whatever kind of sentence they get. So what you're looking at is an attempt to create consent for the invasion of the judicial branch of every state by the bar associations after the fact of the capital crime is hereby exposed. After the fact, see? They came in the 60s, the lawyers did, and we've talked about this before, but I'll just give you a brief update. They changed the judicial departments to the judiciary. And I had a document, and I showed everybody what they did. And they came in and attacked the state constitutions and overthrew them in the 60s. I'll read this to you. It's in the newspaper. A lot of things got quiet after we put some of this out. So the attempt to create violence so that the inhabitants beg for the version of peace, Rothschild family, is a pathetic attempt to gain the consent of the murdered victim or the rape victim. We'll tell you what we're saying here in a minute. Your bar associations have committed the most heinous crime, known as a capital crime, as defined within the law of nations. The Rothschild family, through the bar associations, attacked each state constitution in an attempt to gain a false appearance of superiority and immunity. The Law of Nations says it best. This is the section, it's in chapter 3. Or the constitution of a state and the duties and rights of a nation or of the nation in this respect, of the support of the Constitution and obedience to the laws. So if you have a constitution, you have to be obedient to your constitution. We have the revamped and amended Articles of Confederation. And what our political party did, which was the North American National Party, is we went back and we finished what was started, which was to amend the Articles of Confederation. Once we did that, that became our Constitution. So the Constitution and laws of a state are the basis of a public tranquility. This is the firmest support of political authority and the security for the liberty of the citizens. Okay, so you've noticed that the lawyers just don't, if you try to bring in the Constitution in the court, they don't allow it. You're a sovereign citizen domestic terrorist. And I'm saying, no, you're a capital criminal. You've committed a capital crime. And many others are saying the same thing. And the government of the United States of America is saying the same thing. You attacked a judicial branch of that state. But this Constitution is a vain phantom, and the best laws are useless if they be not religiously observed. The nation ought then to watch very attentively in order to render them equally respected by those who govern and by the people destined to obey. To attack the Constitution of the state and to violate its laws is a capital crime against society. Y'all know what the capital crime is. That's death. Okay? So if those guilty of it are invested with authority, they add to this crime of perfidious abuse of the power in which they are entrusted. The nation ought constantly to repress them with its utmost vigor and vigilance, as the importance of the case requires. It is very uncommon to see the laws and constitution of a state openly and boldly opposed. It is against silent and gradual attacks that the nation ought to be particularly on its guard. And that is exactly what it says in the Law of Nations, if you go read it. The bar associations and its owners are placed on international public notice. Notice to cease and desist all hostilities and domestic terrorism, which I realized that a couple of days after this was done, they started calling it domestic terrorism in the news, against the civilian population with the use of paid mercenaries. Those are called paid protesters. Paid protesters are also paid mercenaries. And covering these crimes with the word riots. Okay, these war crimes are hereby ordered to cease and desist immediately. No amount of cries toward any bar association is going to bring back peace, nor dismiss capital crimes against the state, nor set aside any violence towards any states of the Union Constitution. The crime has already been committed back in the 60s. Just because it's brought up now, and we all know there's no statute of limitations for capital crimes, and each and every day that you operate within that court as a lawyer or as a judge or as a bailiff or as a police officer or prosecutor, you're committing a capital crime. The only chance you have right now is to stop and cease and desist immediately. Once you understand it, you got it, and that's it. You have to stop it. If you don't, that's called a capital crime. Well, that's come out a long time ago. Capital crimes are hideous crimes. The crimes have been already committed, and it's too late for the capital criminals to gain popular consent. Mr. and Mrs. Lawyer, you're not going to get consent. It doesn't matter if everybody says, "Oh yes, please take over the judiciary, judicial department, and run our lives with your BS laws." It'd help you guys in the stock market, by the way. We all know that. It's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. But what you got here is a bunch of capital criminals. They've committed capital crimes, and they're trying to take over give the appearance of authority and give the appearance of taking over. Oh, we're gonna ruin this election. We're not gonna let Trump in there or whatever. Who do you think's behind it, folks? Think about it. Who's been behind it this whole time? That would be Miss Clinton. She's been behind this whole thing from start. Her, Pelosi, the other people, Nadler, and all them guys, all of them same characters. You notice how quiet they are. Whenever they get quiet and something's going on, it's because they're involved. They're the ones that are doing it. Who they're doing it on behalf of? The Rothschilds. I've seen an email that Hillary sent to the Rothschilds asking them, did I sin? Did I sin against us? I remember that email. It was out of WikiLeaks. Wholeheartedly remember that. And I thought, wow, that is really something. I didn't fully understand it back then, what I was reading, but I remember it now and fully get it, what was going on. So if you get Hillary, guess what? You get the Rothschilds. I kind of know why she's in jail, or she's not in jail. Kind of know why Billy's getting away with what he gets away with. And the daughter gets away with what she gets away with. That's just the way it works in their system. But that all ends after your last breath. All that ends and it's over. Not to say that we're going to make her last breath happen. I'm just saying she has until her last breath. And then her eternal life is sealed. And everybody knows that. That knows what I'm talking about. So we wait. The Rothschilds have, they have a date, a court case date coming up. It's going to be after July, or I think it's June 12th, but it's going to be 2 weeks. We got to move it forward 2 weeks, and so just so everybody knows, the other trial is on for the June 5th, so that's still going. And I can't remember the respondents on that one for some reason. I think it's Fauci and Gates. That one's on the 5th. And we keep trolling along like nothing's going on, folks. The more people get upset, more people do this, more people do that, blah, blah, for what these people are doing. The more that they get what they want. So the best thing to do is to not let them get what they want. And by that, what I mean is don't react. They'll quit after a while. It doesn't matter, they know they're stealing. They know that things are being looted. Most of these stores are multi-billion-dollar stores. They'll survive. They have insurance. It's not a big deal. They'll be back up and running in no time. Look at LA, did the same thing. Back up, running in no time. And that's it. Don't let it affect anything. Don't react. Once that happens, and it goes along like that, it doesn't freak everybody out, then the people that did all this start feeling ashamed of themselves. And they do feel ashamed, regardless of what they're telling you. They do feel ashamed. And it's like they're like little kids. They did not get the attention that they wanted. They did not get the reaction that they wanted. So they go and try something else. We told you back in the day, or a little while ago, and I'm going to read that to you here in just a second. Okay, now here's one here. I hope everybody's seeing this. I'll start it over again. 1 year ago, or almost 1 year ago, June the 19th, fire everyone in every court in the country and start over. This leaks out into your executive and your judicial and your legislative and all that in every state. Folks, your country is being run by the City of London. Nobody else is doing it. Nobody else has the resources to do what they're doing today. Soros is just a Rothschild puppet. He's nobody. He's just a little guy that was told he could do some hedge funds and made him a billionaire, and he's just as evil as he can be to do stuff. He's a good tool for the city of London. He doesn't give a crap about his afterlife. Okay. So it says the government of the United States of America has more evidence than needed to prove the following: all courts in the country are under the control of the commander in chief, whether it's local, state, or federal, are the most corrupt organizations anyone has ever seen in the history of courts. Why? Because the people that own and created the international and American bar associations are devil worshippers. That's why. All detention centers and courthouses are owned by the judges. Absolutely true. They make themselves CEO of whatever company that owns it. Evidence is hidden on a daily basis. Absolutely 100% true. Bonds and cases are bought and sold on the stock market on a daily basis where the courts are beholding to the investors. Absolutely. Actually, the prosecutors are beholding to the bond investors. It's the chief judge of every state that buys and sells. He brokers the bonds on every court case. All courts are used for political purposes. Yep. What they're trying to do is put in a socialist communist system where the state has all the power, and everybody believes it. So they become what? Idol worshippers. That's all it is. And when you start worshiping a state and over and above our Father in heaven, you're an idol worshiper. Simple. Bonds are bought and sold, stock market. Okay, all courts are used. All right, all due process is ignored every day. Absolutely, yeah, that's a given. All court officers are on the take, no matter how anyone slices it, and they all need to be shut down. Every court officer fired and sent home. Every case where prisoners are being held need to be reviewed, and in cases of nonviolent offenders, sent home. Now, they started doing some of this during the COVID thing. I believe they were trying to get this done, and it just didn't happen. All retired military officers or non-commissioned officers can run the courts under the rules of occupation until permanent replacements can be found, meaning the people. They have an election, okay, where they actually vote. A complete overhaul of all organizations claiming to be judicial in nature need to be reviewed and shut down if found to be doing something other than judicial activity, like selling bonds. That's not judicial activity. It is to a point now where it does not matter if someone is trained in judicial proceedings, because those that are the so-called trained are so corrupt, a law student in law school for 3 months can do a better job. A local storekeeper can do a better job, and we think people today would trust the local hair salon to run a court more honestly than was in the courtrooms today. The blatant corruption has been going on for a better part of the last 50 years, and it's time to scrap all of it and start over. The courthouses need to be cleaned. All retirement needs to be cut off, even from those that serve as judges, and use that money to revamp and restore the whole judicial system from the bottom up. It is so bad that we do not have time to put those that corrupted it in jail, because it would take 10 years just to prosecute them. It is faster to send them home and make sure they never work in the law profession again for the rest of their life. Just go away, go home, quit, bye-bye, no retirement, have a nice day. We do not have time. You guys you're gonna get your pay later on. Okay? The funny part of all this is that the people in the judicial system can run it honestly. However, they all, whether good or bad, have decided either to run it in corruption or allow it to run in corruption their whole careers. That means that they have no nuts. They have no guts to stand up to corrupt people. Criminals have taken over. Why? Oh, because they're all capital criminals. They attack the judicial branch. That means that all are complicit with the corruption, and all of it is done on purpose every single day. There are no good or bad guys when it's so-called good guys let the bad guys get away with the corruption. So you were all bad. Okay? You're all doing it. They're coming back with this. Okay, here's the same people. Okay, you have the two people. This is the funny part about this. If you watch it, um, the police are out there trying to stop the riots that they started. It's funny to me. It's very blatant, but that's what they're doing. They started it. And they go, oh, no, no, it was only one guy. Well, that's a typical lawyer thing, okay? Lawyers do that. Well, it was only one guy, so they separated all. Well, no, all the rest of the guys sat there and let him do it. So all of you did it, okay? So let's not do the one guy crap. All of you have been watching this going on for years. So if you, that's the funny part. So what we've got is the government of the United States of America receives ex-cops that saw the corruption and had to leave because it was so bad. Now those are the people that we respect. It's so bad you just left. Now imagine this, a man or woman leaves the police force and court system because there are so many crimes being committed on a daily basis. Now think about that. Okay, who's running the courts, folks? This very same people that attacked your judicial system and are murdering people on the streets. Everybody knows it. Everyone knows this. This is what's going on. So you got to get rid of the capital criminals first that have messed up the courts so bad that nobody even knows what the hell's going on anymore. You go into a court trial, they walk out and go, what the hell just happened? I have no idea. I have no idea what just happened. Did I end up getting sentenced for something? Did I plead guilty for something? What the hell happened? You don't even know anymore. It is so convoluted and crap. And you'll sit and listen to three judges that's sitting there and a lawyer, and they'll argue back and forth about different cases that they tried, by the way. They're controlling the whole thing. It's ridiculous. So think about that for a minute. A man or woman leaves the police force and court system. This is supposed to be the best court system in the world because there's so many crimes being committed on a daily basis. These are supposed to be the good guys. But people have to leave because there's so much corruption in a judicial branch. Think about that. That's sad. The people that are hired to stop crime are committing the most of the crimes in the country. When this kind of condition occurs, it is time to scrap the whole thing and start over. That's absolutely true. It says to the international community, don't believe one judgment was rendered with due process. No one honest court proceeding is going on today. So stop buying the bonds, you morons, by the way. You idiot investors, stop buying the bonds because you're just tainting yourself. Nothing coming out of the U.S., no matter if it's local, state, or federal, so-called judicial document, has one shred of honesty attached to it. Not one do not invest in one bond being sold by the municipality. It is all fraud from start to finish. International record. Everyone is reading. Everyone is reading is completely false. Okay, so when you're seeing, when you guys are out there and you see a judge going, hey, we got a bunch of bonds to sell, you're going to make a lot of money. That's just bribes. That's all it is. It's mostly you're just ruining people's lives. And eventually they're going to rise up and they're going to slaughter you. It'll be a real rising up. If a real rising up was happening, it wouldn't be just burning cars and stuff like that. There would be a lot of people dead right now. This is just a BS political crap. That's all it is. It doesn't really deserve any respect. Okay? If it was a real uprising, there would be dead people all over the place. We're talking about dead cops, dead lawyers, dead everybody. Okay? One guy, I think, got shot. They were shooting into the crowd. Who the hell knows who that was and who did it and what their intentions were? Could have been CIA for all we know. I think that we saw a couple of police that were throwing in, or guys that have been seen in different areas like this before, that were throwing bricks through windows, but left the bricks there to give people ammunition to help get it going. You know, that kind of thing. It's just stupid. This deserves no respect, folks. There's no respect at all. It's a complete joke. We wrote this a year ago. If you're not going to just fire everybody in the court, why are you wasting time? Why is everybody just wasting everybody's time? You're not making any changes. You're not going to change a damn thing. You have got to fire everybody in there. You got to fire all the people in the legislature that are all lawyers. If you're a bar attorney, get the hell out of the freaking government, the state governments. Get out. You need to go. You don't have any business there. You're a capital criminal. You got to go. If you don't do that, folks, okay, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to do anything. They're not going to promise you anything. Indicting a cop and then putting out a false picture on him and stuff like that 2 days or 3 days after he kills somebody, murders them, it's not going to make any changes. It's not going to change anything. Okay? You got to scrap it and start over. That's what we did, and it made a change. We did change a lot of things. Okay, here's the we have a contact page here you can get a hold of. I'll show you here in a second. And that's going to be it for tonight, folks, because there's not really much we can do if you're not willing to make any changes, okay? If you're just thinking, well, oh, let's just beg the cops and the people just to stop because you're not respecting the families and the spirit of what's going on here, and you're disrespecting this and that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you're not making any changes. Oh, we all need to come together. No, we don't need to come together because I don't come together with capital criminals. What you need to do is scrap the whole thing. I'm talking about all your courts need to be shut down. All your police needs to be shut down. Use the National Guard to keep order until it all gets returned and back up again. Get the freaking lawyers out of there, I'm trying to tell you. I've got tape after tape saying they run the country and they make the laws to benefit them and nobody else. You can't run a country like that. It doesn't work. You see what happens. Everybody feels left out. Okay, so what we're offering here with the Postal Police Department, and we decided to stay with the name. The governor just said, "Screw them. It's different enough." Okay, as a General Post Office, Postal Police of the government of the United States of America, and you can report a human rights violation, and you can contact us if you'd like to be an investigator. We'll show you, what you need to do just to become an investigator instead of a whistleblower, and it kind of protect you. It'll protect you that you're able to do things that other people can't do, and they'll, you're not going to be affected by anybody. You'll be an independent, and but at least you'll have it to protect yourself. You're protected by something, at least. So you can contact us there. It's postalpolicedepartment.com. Just for everyone's information, just before we end today's show, the bank is running great. We've almost we're less than 200 from the people that we lost, and that's coming together really nice. We're getting people are constantly opening up accounts there, and that's the continentalpublicbank.com. I'm not just saying that. I rarely talk about the bank, okay, but I'm just telling you it is becoming extremely popular, especially with all the crap going on. Everybody knows they're trying to go to the chip and all that kind of stuff. These billionaires think everybody's just stupid. It's funny. It's funny watching them. So, especially those that are awake, you can pretty much see what's going on. When you have during these riots and everything else, if they start hitting your private property, you do have a right to protect your private property. Don't think you don't. Cops aren't going to protect you. They're over there protecting their own ass. So we get all that. And so just protect your property. You have guns, use them if you need to stop that crap from going on. Make sure you shoot in the air first. Don't just go start shooting people. Warn them and let them know they need to go. They'll leave. Don't worry. They're just there paid. They're getting paid like $25 an hour to do what they're doing. So they're just trying to create a fear is all they're trying to do. They're trying to scare people. Oh, there's no police protection. There's no this. Oh, police that keep killing people and murdering people, please come back. Oh, lawyers that took over our judicial branch, please come back. That's what they're trying to get you to do. That's why they're trying to scare you. Please come back and help and run our court systems. And then go in and start kissing their butt and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, don't do that. If you're going to have any change for your children, if you're going to leave anything for your children, and I'm telling you, your future is being taken away from you through legislation. By who? The lawyers. If you're going to leave anything to your children and you give a half wit about them, you know, a half a damn about them, then you need to clean up your court system, clean up the courts, get rid of all of them, start over. Okay, that's just. I mean, if you can't do it, folks, you're just wasting your time, and you're not going to have a future, and your children are not going to have a future. They're not on. They are not making laws to benefit you. It's corrupt to the core. They work for a family that is corrupt to the core and are devil worshippers. We've proven this over and over again. And wait till you see the case coming up. It is awesome. We've got every I dotted, every T crossed, and we're actually getting more evidence. People are helping, which is kind of cool. So thanks for listening to the 178th broadcast of the T Row Show. I hope that we've gotten our message clear and across where it needs to go. If you want to hear a prediction and their company election when it comes to Trump, no matter who wins, there's never going to be any rest. One side's going to say that they cheated. The other side's going to say, no, you guys cheated. So this is not going to be settled. That's why you gotta scrap it and start over. Then guess who comes in? Oh, the judges. Oh, thanks, man. You're going to tell them. I know they're going to vote for your interest, aren't they? Or are they going to vote for the lawyer's interest? It's a no-win situation. So nothing we can do. All we can do is join the States of the Union Society, generalpostoffice.org/NANP. Start a new society where you're included, where you actually have a vote. You have a social compact. You have rules. You don't feel left out. All right. Thanks for listening to the 178th broadcast of the T Row Show. We'll see you next week.